Hey guys, it's Georgia B. Back again for the start of the Cambodian leg of the tour. I was super excited to get to Cambodia. I'd really been looking forward to this half of the trip. Honestly though, I was kind of sad to say goodbye to our trusty good old FM7, our mini home away from home. The good thing was though we did have only one hotel for the whole of the Cambodia trip, so it was nice to have a bit of stability there. Day 9 was mainly travel. We were up at 5 a.m. to quickly grab some breakfast before catching the 6 a.m. shuttle, to the airport. I'd already finished the book that Wayne assigned us to read during the first part of the trip, which I will talk about in a later video. So my flights today were quite boring. Our first flight was at 9:50 a.m, arriving in Singapore at 12:40. Unfortunately, we didn't get any more time to explore Singapore airport as our flight to Siem Reap was at 1:50, so we basically ran straight to the gate. We landed in Siem Reap at 3:10, and boy was it scary. The Cambodian officials in customs and immigration were incredibly intimidating and very rude. So thankfully Wayne was able to sort all of the stuff out for us, so we didn't have to deal with it. So once we'd finally got through the terrifying ordeal at the airport, we headed straight to the hotel. It was a nice place. The showers were absolutely tiny. That's saying something considering I'm only 5'7". We were allowed some time to have a swim, have a shower and rest before we took a walk down Pub Street. A swim and a shower were very well needed though. I won't comment on it constantly, but just know that it was bloody hot. It was around 35 degrees every day, which normally we'd be okay with being from Australia, kind of used to that. But the humidity was just something else. It was about 95% humidity the whole time. So I'd never sweated so much in my life. So that'll do about the weather, but just keep in mind for the next few videos, that's what we were dealing with the whole time. We had dinner at a pub called the Red Piano, which didn't go down too well for me. I only had a burger and chips, but yeah, it wasn't a fun time for me. After dinner, we walked through Pub Street and the night markets, and we had our feet cleaned by the fish that ate dead skin. Very weird feeling, but we got used to it eventually. We were given the option to do basically whatever we wanted on the first night. So some of the students went out to a few pubs for drinks, some went shopping. A few of us, including me, decided to just head back to the hotel. I wanted to do some shopping and explore a bit, but after dinner my stomach was definitely not agreeing with me. So I decided it was probably best to just go back and rest. I somehow managed to knock my wrist again, so that made it quite sore. So Georgia ordered a bucket of ice for me to put it on. Turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It was a great idea because the room was really warm, because we couldn't keep the air conditioning on while we were out of the room. So we got there, it was very, very hot. So we used the ice to cool down overnight. Eventually I managed to get to sleep, but it was one of the worst nights of my life. I slept terribly. I was up and down all night with some really intense stomach pains. So it really wasn't a great time. Day 10, I should say, was rough. I woke up after maybe 3 hours total of sleep, and my stomach was still causing a lot of pain. And just to add on to the fun, I'd fallen prisoner to what they call barley belly. So I had quite bad diarrhea as well. So with everything mixed together, I was unlucky enough to miss the first real day in Cambodia. So I was absolutely devastated. I was really weak. I tried to eat a couple of times, but nothing would stay in my stomach. So Yeah, it wasn't very good. I was just falling in and out of consciousness every day. In between the pain and the toilet stops, I slept for most of the day, tried to catch up a bit on the night before. When the group got back to the hotel that night, Georgia C came up to the room and told me about their day, and it was huge. She told me that they went on a tour of a floating village. They donated some cows, went to a school and helped cook for them, along with a bunch of other stuff as well. She said that it was a really tough day, both physically and emotionally. So I knew I would have struggled with it if I forced myself to go. But I really was super upset about missing all of that. Georgia C told me that they had to decide who they would donate the 2 cows to, which was really difficult because they felt like they were letting a lot of people down. And it was a tough decision to make who deserves it or who needs it most. So the group ended up raising the funds to donate a 3rd cow as well, which was great. So yeah, day 9 and 10 were rough. Day 9, mainly travelling, which sounds easy because you're just sitting down most of the time, but it really does knock the wind out of you a bit. And day 10 just sucked. Sucked not just because of the pain and the discomfort that I was in, but I also just hated missing out on things, especially such a huge, important day when we travelled all the way to Cambodia, and to miss that, I was just devastated. But yeah, so join me back here tomorrow for the day 11 recap, which was probably my favourite day, so get excited for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.